Okay, so the first walk we're going to be talking about, the first structured walk, is a heel walk. So I only really use this one when she's working. I'm working them actively, or if it's a really busy area because I want them to be close to me. But if I'm taking them on a chill walk, I'm not going to have them in a heel. I will have them in another position, which we'll talk about later. So heel. When I want that, I want this. Yes. She needs to be right next to me. I need to be able to touch her head right here. So if we start going, heel, she needs to be close and she needs to be paying attention to what I'm doing. So if I stop, she stops and sits. Heel. And if I turn this way, she needs to also turn. She needs to constantly check in. Yes, she needs to pay attention to what I'm doing, not everything else. So if I can turn into her, yes, I won't run into her. She needs to stay right at my leg. Her shoulder needs to be in direct correlation with my calf. I'll turn. Yes. And that is what I'm looking for. So I'll stop. Yes. And if she gets out of heel, I will simply either stop and get her back in position, or I use a kind of as, hey, you're getting out of position, you're about to get out of position, fix it. Or I will just turn the other way and just reward her for staying in that heel position, because that's what I want. Good girl. Yes. So I can say heel. She'll stay there. See, just like that. And then she should fix it herself, because that's what I use all the time. She knows I use that. That's what I want. Yes, that eye contact, paying attention. I stop. Good. If I move, she moves with me. She needs to follow my movement. She needs to listen to what I'm doing. Sit. Kira. Now, when I'm healing with another dog, Zelda's fine. She doesn't need to heal. This is my washed working dog. She's been washed, so I'm not as strict with her on heel. Kira, heel. Right? She still needs to be close, but if we walk, she can have that more looser heeled walk. I'm not so strict. Sit. She doesn't need to be so close. She has a more loose walk. But since Zelda is a working dog, I want a more stricter heel. But with my non-working dog, and any other dog I work with that isn't going to be working or anything, then they can have that looser heel. Heel. I'm not so strict about that. Still can't pull, still needs to be in proximity where I can touch her, but I'm not so strict. And it all just depends on handler preference, but that's my preference for each of them. So now we'll go on to the next thing. Okay, so the next walk we're going to talk about is a looser walk. So it's not a heel, but she can't swerve in front of me. So I'll tell her with me. And that means she can sniff the ground. She can go further out to the side. She can go behind me, but she can't cross a barrier in front of me. She can get a few paces in front, but not fully. She's still learning this one herself. See, that's fine. That is completely fine. Good girl. And I use with me when it's talking about a loose walk. A few paces, but she was getting two in front. She still needs to, I turn, she turns. And with this one, she isn't allowed to stop and sniff something for a long period. She can sniff the ground. She can get her quick sniffs in. I do not mind that. I don't know if she will sniff. Yeah, see, that's fine. That is completely fine. She was getting a little too far. This way. She's still working on this herself, so that's good. That's fine. So yeah, let's go. Yeah, that's completely fine. If I stop, she'll stop. Yes. I'll reward that. And again, if she gets out of position for this one, what I was doing a lot is she starts getting too ahead, I will stop. And we cannot go until she comes back to me. And that worked really well for her. And what also I've done is a lot of back and forth and just kind of rewarding her for being in where I want her and not branching off in front. And if I stop, she stops. She still checks in here and there, but I don't need a constant check-in. Good girl. Then we'll go. Good. That's good. That's fine. That's good. Yes. So yeah, that's that walk. Let's go. She still needs to keep pace. She needs to keep that forward momentum. If we turn, she's a person. See, that's fine. With this, she can look around. If I turn, she turns. She can look around. She can observe her surroundings. She can get some quick sniffs in. She can have that looser walk. So I use this one a lot when we're walking. We're walking on a street because there's no sidewalks. Walking to a place because I want her to have relatively close, because especially on busy roads, very important. So that's when I'll use this one. Walking to the park where I know I'm not going to work her. Just walking somewhere I'm not going to work her, but it's busier. Leave it. Let's go. So quick sniffs, that's fine. That's good. But she can't stop and sniff. Very good. So yeah, I use this one again. Busy. And I want her relatively in. She's not allowed to cross me. Kira, come in. And this is her. And since she is a working dog, that's why I do her loose walk. How I do it, she can't get too far in front of me, because I want to make sure on a short leash, those are the rules for a short leash. She doesn't have as much freedom as if she was off leash or on a long line, which we will be going to now. Okay, now she's on a long line. With this, she has a lot of freedom. I give her a lot of freedom. I use this at a park, even sometimes on certain roads if they're very busy. And I also use it in the yard if sometimes, a lot of times she's off leash in the yard. We don't have a fenced in yard. But with a long line, she can stop and sniff things. So break. And she's allowed to do that. It's kind of, I will follow her. If she pulls and I'm not going that direction and she pulls, what I want from her is to come and check in with me. If she puts a little pressure on the leash, she needs to check in. But she knows she can do that. Kira, come. Kira's over there off leash right now. But she's allowed to do these long sniffs. Long line gives her that freedom, and I deciphered between what a short leash means and what a long line is, or off leash. So she knows her limits between each leash, because that's how I've taught her to decipher between what to do. And if I don't tell her a heel when she's on a short leash, she knows she kind of automatically does that with me command. Kira, come. Good girl. Yes. Little slowpoke. Come here. Yeah, she's off leash because she's really good with her recall. But yeah, and if I go, Zelda, yes, she needs to be able to follow me still. So if I start walking away, she needs to follow that. Good girl. Very good. She's not allowed to fight it. Let's go. I tell her, let's go, like, hey, we're moving. She's still learning the whole being a dog thing. Hey! Wonderful working dog. Needs some work with the whole being a dog, normal dog thing. Let's go! So yeah, long line, she's not allowed to pull. She's very strict limits still. Good girl. And so, again, start walking away. Zelda, let's go. As you can see, she fights it. I will give her a correction for that. So if it's long line, I do give her tugs, yes, if she doesn't cooperate, because it's so much different than just in a position where I can change and do this and that. So I will give her a tiny tug correction if she pulls and doesn't do what she's supposed to do. Nah. There. Yes! I reward her for coming back. Let's go! Zelda, let's go! There, that's what we want. Yes! Reward her. Kira, let's go! Very good. So she can have that freedom. She can sniff long things, but if I tell her, Kira, let's go. Come. If I tell her, good girl. Kira doesn't like the leash dragging. If I tell her, let's go, she has to listen to that immediately, because that will eventually be manners for a good off-leash. She needs to master her long line skills first, though. But yeah, she's allowed to sniff long things, but again, if I tell her, let's go, she has to listen, and she has to go. But she has a lot more freedom on a long line than the other two options. And again, I taught her. That's very good. Yes, that's exactly what I want. She, at the end, she immediately came back. So the only real rules, there's only really 2 rules with long line. Technically 3. She's not allowed to pull. If she's sniffing something and I say, let's go, she has to listen immediately, and we start walking. And 3rd rule, she still has to listen to commands if I need to give her any. So this has like the most freedom. I use this a lot of times at the park, and if it's a very unbusy area, she does off-leash in the yard. And same rules, she actually does better off-leash, because she has figured out it's a privilege to be off-leash. So she needs to work to have off-leash privileges. But yeah, my non-working dog has similar but different rules when it comes to with me. She doesn't know a whole with me thing. She's allowed to be more in front, but that's also because she's really good with leash pressure. Just like that. Zelda is still learning about that. But yeah, those are the rules for each structure walk. Yep, perfect, good girl, yes. Reward her for that because she gave. And if we walk on, she has that freedom. If I continue walking, let's go. There, yes, perfect example. So yeah, those are the rules for each walk. If I stop, they also has to. That was actually really good. I stopped, she went to something close enough, and she didn't pull. Oh. She still gets real testy, so that's how I know she's not ready to be off leash. So those are each rules. And yeah, those are the main ones I stick to, even with like non-working dogs, just pets, other dogs I might be training. I typically just use the loose leash walking and a loose heel. And long lines, come on, let's go. Long line skills are always the same. I do teach them all 3. Let's go. She gets very invested in sniffing. Good girl, yes. Let's go. I will give her a correction. Good girl. It's not a hard correction. It's just enough to say, hey, you're hitting the end and I don't want you pulling on yourself.